The Gillard government has a growing scandal on its hands, with police now investigating federal Labor backbencher Craig Thomson. Mr Thomson's under pressure to explain how his union credit card was used to pay for escort services. The member for Dobell says he's innocent, but he has resigned as chairman of the Parliament's powerful Economics Committee, saying he doesn't want to be a distraction. In Parliament, the furor over the matter is growing more rancorous by the day, as is the language in the carbon tax debate. Here's political editor Chris Ullman.
There is such a thing as bad publicity, and Labor's Craig Thomson is getting what some believe is his fair share, as every day sheds more light on a colourful past and puts more pressure on his party.
I'm not going to comment about the tax affairs of either the member for Dobell, the ALP or any lawyers or anyone else involved in these matters.
And his Prime Minister.
The member for Dobell has amended his declaration of interests and he has advised me he has disclosed all relevant matters.
This is the Prime Minister who has not got the intestinal fortitude to do with Craig Thomson as she knows should be done with him.
Craig Thomson is accused of misusing his credit card when he was the head of the Health Services Union in the 5 years to 2007. There are questions over $100,000 worth of unreceipted cash withdrawals and who twice used it to procure prostitutes. Mr Thomson has always denied it was him, but the opposition's chief prosecutor has written to the police.
Late this morning, the New South Wales Police announced that following the provision of information in a letter which I sent to Commissioner Scipione late yesterday in relation to a number of matters concerning Craig Thomson, they were now going to examine the matter to determine whether a criminal offence had occurred.
The other matter that's very much alive and current, of course, is the Fair Work Australia investigation. And as George said, that's a matter that we are still pursuing.
The police are looking at whether there are grounds for an investigation. Fair Work Australia's interest is in whether Mr Thomson misled its inquiry into the matter, and then there are questions about why the Labor Party paid to settle his legal bills.
What involvement did the Prime Minister or her office have in negotiating the gift to the member for Dobell to settle his defamation action against Fairfax Media Limited with Senator Arbib, the New South Wales branch of the Labor Party, and the member for Dobell?
I've said publicly decisions about finances related to the New South Wales Labor Party are for the New South Wales Labor Party to make.
The point of all of this is to force Mr Thomson from office and Labor from government, which is possible if he was convicted of an offence that carries a sentence of more than a year.
The offence of fraud under section 192E of the New South Wales Crimes Act carries a maximum penalty of imprisonment for 10 years.
The pressure is telling. Late this afternoon, Craig Thomson stood down from his position as chair of the House Economics Committee. The Prime Minister points out that there are no charges against Mr Thomson, but there is a charge of shoplifting levelled against Coalition Senator Mary Jo Fisher.
He's applying that standard to a member of his own team. I would think, as an act of fairness, he ought to apply that standard more broadly.
Senator Fisher has also stood aside from her committee work, and a senator with a long memory sees more than a little hypocrisy in the coalition's pursuit.
This from a party who lost 9 ministers and parliamentary secretaries while they were in government, who had to resign as a result of either rorts or conflicts of interest. 11 and a half years of sleaze, ministerial scandals and abuse of power. That's what the Howard government was like.
This is bare-knuckle politics, and Tony Abbott signalled that he intends to play it just as hard when the carbon tax bills come before Parliament. He's told his party room that they have to be in the House for every vote, and under no circumstances will he grant a pair to the government during the debate. So if someone's rushed to hospital or has a death in the family, no quarter will be given. The government is equally determined to see the bills passed and is amping up its attack.
Now, the opposition's prohibition on trading carbon permits with other countries is economic xenophobia. It sends the signal that it's somehow dubious to trade with foreigners. It's typical dog whistle politics, trashing the commitment that's existed for many years on both sides of politics to economic liberalisation and open trade. It is in effect a white carbon policy designed to harvest some more votes, no matter what the cost.